like to call to order the June 14th, 2023 Townsend Conservation Commission meeting. Can I have a roll call, please?
Jim Durrani, present. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, that's right.
Colby Streeter here. James Gates.
And the
This meeting is being recorded. Is anyone else reporting? Chairman's additions and or deletions. Going to add 4.3. That's the right spot to put it, but it's open space and rec forum, June 22nd, 2023. Is that the right spot, team?
Yep.
Chair report. I made a site visit to 158 Main Street over the weekend with Jessica, and she can go through what we saw. But there was some maintenance that needed to be done that was requested. And then 1.5, review approved meeting minutes from 4/26/23. Everyone have a chance to review?
Yeah.
Yes. What?
I said I thought that was okay.
Fully? Were you good with them? Yes. Yes.
Take a motion to accept the meeting minutes from 4/26/23.
Second. Roll call vote, please.
I don't think it was at the meeting, so I don't.
You can abstain.
Yeah, I'll abstain from it, yeah. As long as you have enough people to vote on it, 3 is efficient.
Fully?
Colby Streeter, yes.
James Gates, yes.
And LaFrey, yes.
1.6, agents report.
All right, this was from May 22nd to June 9th. Building permit interdepartmental signatures for 25 Harbor Trace Road, which is the water treatment plant. 12A Meadow Road, with a note about staying outside of the 100-foot wetland buffer and installing erosion controls and sedimentation controls. Signed off on 128R Lunenburg Road and 99 Wallace Hill Road. We did not have any referrals done during that time. Board of Health interdepartmental signatures for 31 Elm Circle. We indicated that they need an RDA, which is going to be at the next meeting. 9 Virgo Lane, I think it's Lane, and 158 Fitchburg, with a note to comply with their order of conditions. That's where we issued that at the last meeting with the sump pump and the septic repair. We completed approvals. We issued an order of conditions for 158 Fitchburg Road, which was issued on June 1st. We issued the extension permit for the order of conditions for 132 Pierce Road on May 25th. Applications we got in the last few weeks: request for COC for 5 Madison Avenue, 3080698. And we have an RDA in for 31 Elm Circle, which is septic within a riverfront area. Miscellaneous things: the ongoing enforcement order for 158 Main Street, compliance and inspections ongoing. Did make a visit a few days ago. Some of the hay bales on the northern side of the rail trail were pretty silted up. Oh, here's a cat. So I requested, oh wait, no, I'm going to wait till, is that on our agenda? I'm going to wait till 2.1 to talk more about that. Other stuff, we had reviews and updates and finalization to Chapter 150 regulations. Just continued coordination and rescheduling for the invasive species workshop. We had a preliminary field meeting with our trainers on May 31st. I made an OOC inspection of 75 Pierce Road on May 22nd. I did not see a DEP sign, and the plantings were not in at that time. I do need to follow up with that applicant on some more compliance items. I reviewed a swale in front of 169 Wallace Hill Road for wetland parameters for some work that they have been doing there, but that swale was not jurisdictional. Reviewed some guidance on emergency beaver and emergency certifications for beaver permits for 2 beaver dams in town. We had an intake of a emergency cert for 160 Old Turnpike Road. I did a site visit to 73 Turnpike Road for an OOC inspection. 61 Edward Road, which has been ongoing for a little over a year. Oh my God, cat. Our new community services coordinator was able to make contact with the resident yesterday. And so he is getting help from a family member to get a dumpster, and that trash is supposed, all of the debris is supposed to be removed next month, which is awesome. And then latest and greatest, our staffing updates, not really a conservation agent report thing, but wanted to let you guys know I am taking over the land use coordinator position effective July 1st. And then Matt will be sort of stepping up as agent / admin for you guys. So I'll still be around. I'm not going anywhere, but just wanted to give you a heads up.
I've got big shoes to fill, but I'm looking forward to it.
Gosh, thanks, Matt. I'm blushing.
Question I have, 12A Meadow Road, how will we follow up to make sure that they installed erosion control?
Who lives closest and wants to drive around there?
That's you.
Yeah.
I mean, I can. It's my job, but if someone lives closer, you can.
Is it a new construction or a septic system? What is it for? You people. Well, what's it for? What are they doing?
Matt, are you having trouble hearing? Because it just went like way quiet for me.
Yeah, I didn't hear the last couple sentences there.
Something about 12A. What was it? Building permit, so it's probably some sort of development. I think it's a new house, a new construction house. Oh wait, 12 Meadow, that might have just been an A&R.
The application required for what is,
It's
What
what am I looking
building
at if I go
permit.
down to look, what's
Can you hear us?
Now I can, yeah.
Okay, so what are they doing and where is it on the property? Can
Oh,
you
it's
see?
right there? Oh, sorry, I thought it was West Meadow. Never mind. This is super close to work, so scratch that.
What were you doing down there?
Right,
12A, yeah, 12A, yeah. It's a new house, and they do have a delineation. And their plans showed the erosion control at like 105 feet away from a wetland. So, I mean, it's outside of our jurisdiction, but I still said to put something down. So I suppose I can drive by on Friday or stop by.
I can do it as well, Jen. I live right in that neighborhood as well,
Okay.
if you don't have time.
I don't
your meadow road, so
know if I've been on this road. So it's the lot between 12 and 14. There's a 12A there, and it goes way behind those two lots too. And that's where they're building.
Okay.
Um,
You have contact information?
I can get some. Yeah.
So,
I don't know the timing on it. They might not have even started yet. So I'll look into that.
we want to make sure it's up there.
True. Yeah.
It was requested for, like, as an example, 75 years, it was requested and never put up.
What is 105 feet away anyway? Is that the septic or is that the house itself?
It's just there are limits of disturbance.
Oh,
Is that in? I'll look at that more on Friday and I'll let you know, Colby.
okay.
Any other questions?
I don't have any. Does anyone?
No, I'm good.
Cool. Moving on, 2.1 enforcement order, 158 Main Street, updates from 5/24 to 6/14.
Okay, now it's my turn. Okay, yes. So we went up a couple days ago. The stream, yeah, on to the south of the property, but up to the north of the rail trail, to the north of the culvert, a few of the hay bales that were placed throughout the channel were all sort of silted up and they just had standing, stagnant water kind of backed up before them, just pooling. So I emailed Courtney asking if they could just replace those hay bales with new ones and stake them in and just make sure that they are like stretched across the length of the width of the channel. So she did email back this afternoon saying that had been completed. So if anyone's out for a stroll on the rail trail the next few days and just want to confirm, that would be nice. But I also trust them at this point. So, but otherwise, we do have an NOI in for them. We got that end of last week, I think. So that will be heard at your next meeting in 2 weeks.
Okay. Questions or?
The NOI was the some form of the plan that we heard last time? Okay.
Little details.
Yeah, you have
Yeah,
anything?
no, I'm good knowing that's what we've got in.
Now, with the next meeting, is it received, Stan's gonna have a complete write-up, everything engineered as to what is needed, and the client, Mr. McGee, is gonna be understanding of it.
We hope that he is understanding of it, but yeah.
You guys are going to have to put really detailed conditions, special conditions.
Pat, do you mind announcing your
What are the special?
718? Hold on, Jim.
Patricia General at 718.
Go ahead, Jim. I'm sorry.
Jennifer, can I get together with you on that? It's fun, Jessica, I'm sorry to get a little more. I just need a little more information
Of course.
on this.
Yeah, that's fine.
Couple of things that are a little confusing as to how this all came about and why it's even lingering at this point, so.
Okay. Yeah, no, yeah, feel free to stop by and we can run through it.
But and I won't say anything after this. Who did the work? Who initiated the work?
Who authorized the work or who did the work?
Mr. McGee, I assume, was his mind and methods correct? Who performed the work?
Don't know.
So we have. I will speak to the agent later. We'll figure that out. I mean, it's a mystery that type of work I've done and it has gotten to this point and it's that bad. I mean, I'm just wondering, is there another foot to be held to the fire on this?
It's all valid. Jessica?
I mean, that probably would have been a bridge to cross 6 months ago.
Wow.
I mean, I think at this point, we're all just like eager to get to the finish line. So,
But at the same time, Mr. McGee has been he said this is what I want done, nothing more. And that's what it is, and I'm going to assume that erosion control was gonna cost them more money, they didn't wanna pay it.
I agree with her. If the finish line is that close, let's dash to it and be done with it.
You know, he had one contractor go in and help with install the check dams, but you don't know if he'll be able to get that same contractor back. So, and Stan has even said, he has burned some bridges with local contractors
Mhm.
at one of our meetings,
Yes.
so.
Very good, thank you.
Do you have anything else to add? Jessica, Matt, Pat's here. Pat, do you have anything about 158?
I mean, I've been going by it and I didn't get a chance to go down the rail trail, but I never got down there today. You know, it looked like it was coming along a little bit, but it's just still too far. Yeah, we really should have had more done by now.
All right, 7:22, so we can move on. Appointment for possible wetland violations at 100 Fitchburg Road. Mike is here, he's the property owner.
I don't mind.
How are you?
Nice to meet you.
Jessica, do you want to discuss it first? Do you want Mike to describe what the work was?
Let me, Hartley, can I have screen sharing permission, please? Then we can all just sort of tag team it.
Okay, you have it.
Thank you. All right. Can you guys see my screen, the map?
Yes.
So just brief reference here, this, what this is about is there, you can see there's a water feature here in the trees. Maybe this helps a little better. You can see it here too. So going back 30 years, at least 30 years, that's all that is available in aerial photographs. There is a body of water here. It's about 2,000 square feet in size. And that's pretty much all I know about it. But at some point in the last year or so, that water feature was filled in. So that's where we're at today, is just trying to figure out how to move forward. So the property owners here, we did make a site visit last week, just to sort of check it out, because what direction we kind of need to go in is to figure out if this water feature is jurisdictional for Conservation Commission or not. And since it's not there anymore, it's hard to take a soil sample, obviously, and sort of figure it out. So we were just trying to look for upstream, which is to the left, to the west, or downstream to the east or to the right, hydrologic connections. There is a larger wetland, probably about down here once you reach the end of the pine trees. So we need to know if that water feature is jurisdictional to you guys so that it can be remediated if necessary.
Now, it looks like this was fed by a very well filled up with sediment culvert pipe, correct?
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been fed by other surface water. I mean, it was a fairly low point topographically anyway, so could be surface water. I don't know about groundwater. So Mike shared with us during the site visit that there was some sort of man-made liner in it. But, you know, obviously we don't know the extent of it. There's no photographic evidence of what was there. And as you can see, there's just a lot of debris around the area from the adjacent property that makes a lot of these questions hard to answer.
Is the adjacent property, whose property is the adjacent?
They just sold it. It was,
Mariano had owned it.
yeah, but
For a
before
few
that, I
years.
could tell you after.
Prior. It's now owned by a guy named Taylor McKenna.
Yes, the one right
Okay.
here.
No, you own the property on 100? Okay, how long have you been there?
March 22.
Okay, so you didn't fill it, obviously.
Well, we did do some work there, but I'm
He did some regrading.
reluctant to say that we filled in a pond.
No, I mean, and I think it would be pretty obvious if you did fill in the pond. I mean, there isn't anything, well, maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I mean, it's a 2,000 square feet of, was it a vernal pool? Was it?
No, so there was a line, a tarp in the bottom.
There is, well, the tarp could have been just pieces of trash.
Right, blown
Because
in.
there was a lot of trash in it, but there were pieces of what seemed like a legitimate pool liner. I was told that the late husband of the previous owner many years ago had constructed a pond at one point. I was told that the place was beautiful, he had it lined, and but he's been gone for 16 years now. To my knowledge, the widow didn't really take care of it, and the neighbors had, well, the neighbors at the time, I'm not sure how long they had owned the property. I know Al bought it almost 3 years ago, I think. But I think the people who were occupying that property were taking advantage of her. Because I know at one point there were permissions granted to kind of park some things on what is now my property. Store materials, different vehicles, boats, campers, construction materials. I
Mhm.
mean, if you guys have driven up and down the road, you know what was going on over
You
there.
know where it is?
No, I'm still a little, I thought we were gonna do some more pictures.
Yeah, exactly.
Bring him.
Is there any stream going in the road?
So there's, the only visible,
Next to Gary's?
water
Go
flow
down Route 13.
is
Yeah,
coming from that culvert.
And remember that
Yeah,
farm?
And for reference here,
got it. I'm all set. Got it.
yeah, so
It's
there's,
gonna be nice.
across the street, between,
Okay,
I think it's 97 and 103, there's a storm drain next to a telephone pole, and you can see there's 3 or 4 what look to be 8-inch pipes that come all just from the Bayberry Hill. Not the street, obviously, but the Bayberry Hill, all the drainage from wherever that's coming from. I'm not sure if it's daylighted at one end or if it's perforated from somebody's backyard.
It's probably all catch basins. Jess, can you go back to Mass Mapper and click on the infrastructure tab on the right side, please?
So it would be really safe to say that whole lot area that he just bought is a very disrupted area. Of
It was,
not a lot of
I
knowledge
think
of.
it's a case of the neighbor crept onto his property, crept and crept and crept. Did you end up having to pick up all the trash that was on your property?
It's actually been a joint effort
Okay,
between, who was
your
there
neighbor,
now.
yeah.
Which I was trying to get him to.
So it looks like everybody's really stepping it up and doing a good cleanup out there, cause it's
Yes.
it's really come a long way
Is-
from where it was. Night and day.
Oh, yeah,
There it is, okay.
yeah.
I
And
can't
for-
find it, but I'm gonna ask if Matt can share his screen because I have a crying baby upstairs. So I will be right back.
Carly, can you give Matt, screen sharing, please?
So a lot of this disruption is due to a lot of cleanup and changing
And
in hands.
he had
et
a
cetera.
wet spot. Was it filled with water at the time? Did you pump it out?
There was water, but, so what we did was, I mean, of the water that was in there, which there may have been, I don't know, probably an area the size of this table had an inch of water. And at this time, we weren't in a drought. That's what led me to believe that it wasn't spring fed or wetland otherwise, so I dug out one side of it with the machine, let it drain out. It didn't get wet again. Especially after I took all the liner out, all the liner and trash.
Keep scrolling down, Matt, on infrastructures. Mike, you can continue, I'm sorry.
That was pretty much it.
Click Mass DOT roads.
From what I can distinguish,
Yeah, which Mass DOT roads you want, James?
So Mass Mapper, I believe, has culvert pipes or catch basins as a layer. So you might have to keep going down and see.
Hmm. You sure it's under infrastructure?
No, no, I'm not. It's just a rabbit hole I went down one night.
Hmm.
I couldn't find it either when I was looking a minute ago. Matt, go back down to utilities.
Mike, you
Oh wait, no,
continue.
sorry, public utility providers, never mind.
Okay.
I was told that specifically for groundwater and surface water, I don't mean to put any of my standing on the line, but I am a licensed professional on one of the 29 registered well drillers in the state of Massachusetts. And I work specifically with groundwater. That is my life, is groundwater. I actually used to service the town's use.
Yeah, but it
water
kinda
system.
comes apples to oranges. She said as far back as they can go, the water area's been there for 30 years.
Right.
You filled in a water area. Now it's up to us to kind of decipher what's the origin of this water area.
Right, exactly.
Is it a vernal pool? Is it runoff? Is it just somebody that dug it up? Has nothing to do with your drilling experiences. When anything of water gets diverted, filled in, disrupted,
Well, I'm not directly correlating those two. I'm just saying in my experience, which is quite a bit dealing with groundwater specifically,
yeah.
I don't see anything that would
See.
lead me to believe that
Thank you.
that pond, whatever it was supposed to be there. I don't think it was created
Even you
by.
referred to as a pond, even you referred to as an area that was holding water. It's just a matter of now, to me, deciphering where was the water coming up from? Is it groundwater? Is it spring fed, et cetera, et cetera? I mean, bottom line, there was a water area filled in. And I get it, everybody wants to beautify their property and do the right thing and do what they gotta do, but
Do we know what kind of plant material was in there? Or type of soil?
Hey, Matt, I'm sending you the
I doubt
website.
anyone's gone up there and augured it for the soil horizons.
So where the pond was, there's several feet of fill.
Mhm.
You can't just auger that.
No, that's not gonna tell you anything. Is it completely filled? Is it all graded and filled and gone?
Yeah,
Toothpaste
Here,
out of it?
I'll share my pictures again.
And you just recently graded it, filled it, and it, this summer, the spring, I mean, the
No, that's
spring.
what-
Hey, Jimmy. Do you have any others, Jessica, including the
doesn't-
plant? The woods?
That's, sorry, let me orient. So this is standing with, Fitchburg
drive.
Road to my back, looking toward where the pond was.
Down.
This is the opposite side, so through the trees is Fitchburg Road. So somewhere like up in here, there's probably like a 12-inch concrete culvert,
Mhm.
12-inch diameter, but only like an inch of it is like not full of crap. But anyway, yeah, it's been pretty leveled out. And then, so like I said, what I was hoping to find was, well, maybe, you know, in Mike's case, not hoping to find is some sort of like nexus or connection from the water feature to another wetland resource that would help me determine if the pond was jurisdictional or not. So this is just looking like downslope to the east. So the pond, Fitchburg Road, is to my back here in this picture. All of this, minus some of the poison ivy, is a plant called jewelweed. And this is a plant that is almost exclusively found in wetlands only.
It's a wetland gator, without a doubt.
Fact wet.
Right.
So fact wet for everybody else is facultative wetland, which means it's the plant itself has a 66 to 99% chance of being found in wetland environments. So pretty dominantly will be found in wetlands. So anyway, so most of the going down the hill slope was this sort of like large swath swale of jewelweed. And then you can see red maples too, which are FAC. So like 50% of the time they are found, 50% of the time they are not found in wetlands. And then down at the base of the hill is definitely a big wetland. So at this point, of course, we didn't have an auger with us to check the soils. But at this point, what I would recommend is having a professional come out and just get their opinion. Make a case if this area is was jurisdictional or not. I've kind of exhausted my resources for now, so I'm hoping somebody else might be able to help better. So, yeah.
You get pulled.
No, just listening.
Pat, and
Or would it be up to the property owner to apply for that, to have a professional
you don't apply for
determine?
it. We can
Or is that something we would?
require him to get a hire a professional and submit their findings to us. But, you know, we can't go digging down into the
Oh,
virgin
no,
soil ourselves if we don't have the resources to do that.
right,
You know. And it's not like there's sedimentation flowing into the wetlands
No.
too, but
right.
again, this has to get figured out. So, did I say that correctly, Jessica?
Can you repeat that? I just heard sedimentation, something or other.
So what your recommendation is, frankly, it's hire a professional or consultant engineer. I don't know if he needs an engineer for this.
A wetland scientist to decipher what we've got
Yeah.
underneath there. We can
Environmental
go down and
consultant.
auger it up and look at our soil horizons, and
Right.
we could
That's all
be
it's
just as close as them, as, you know, within 5 or 10. But just out of curiosity to the question, this water area is committed now, it's filled in, it's gone. So if we do decipher that it is jurisdictional and it is possible wetland area and flow, et cetera, what are we gonna do?
Gotta put it back,
Yeah,
gotta restore it.
So we have, okay,
We have to restore, or, you know, was that pond dug out of, and I'm just gonna hypothetically, there was a stream there 30, 40 years ago. When they dug it, they dug a pond because they were like, oh, there's a water source. I'm gonna make my wife a nice little heart-shaped pond. And then, you know, but there was an outlet and went and it fed that wetlands. Yes, the pond's filled now, but do we, you know, he still has a culvert pipe to contend with,
Yeah, I mean,
wet, so at some point you're gonna have to deal with that. And
yeah,
then discharging, you know,
I mean, ultimately it's up to you
You do
guys,
that.
not to me. But I mean, the point of, you know, an enforcement remediation is to restore to its original pre-disturbed condition.
but we haven't issued an enforcement.
Right, because we don't know if this is jurisdictional or not. So that's really the first matter. I mean, you can take it in two directions. We can proceed with hiring an engineer to hope, you know, ideally prove that it's nothing jurisdictional. Or we can just go in the direction and start a remediation plan. I think it's probably just wiser to see if we even need all that effort first. So, yeah, probably like a PWS, a professional wetland scientist, would be the best type of person to hire for this, or like or a certified, I don't know what the cert is, but like a certified soil scientist.
and the other thing is, would we have the ability to go back to some of the landowner or GS to see if we can get some pictures of when, before, you said you only went back 30 years?
Yeah, all that's publicly available is 30 years. I did aerials, I went on USGS topos. I went so far as to like looking on Zillow to see if
Okay.
during any property transactions for 96 or for 100 Fitchburg, if there are any, you know,
Right.
waterfront property pictures.
Yeah.
Nothing. So,
It would be good to find out if it was a man-made area. Somebody went in there with their own dozer, dug it, you know, and it took water, and from there, it would flow down and create a wetland area.
yeah, and I mean it's been there for 30 plus years. So I mean any soils submerged or saturated in water for 30 years would absolutely turn hydric. So
They're gonna go well, yeah, back with them.
One question.
Yes.
What, is she still alive, the previous owner? Or
I'm not sure.
or the family? Cause you know, people always take pictures at all these different things.
Hmm.
I'm wondering, they have pictures of that area that somebody took.
Well, we've got documentation of 30 years.
That
I
would
mean,
be,
that in itself kind of dictates where this is gonna go.
so.
Yeah, but at least you'd have an idea of how big or what it was.
And that's not for us to request.
Mhm.
Mike's gonna have to make a case here, you know, and provide, I'm really talking about this evidence that this wasn't a wetlands, or we did, had no detrimental effect on the wetlands at the bottom of that hill, which, yes, it's on your neighbor's property or the state's property, whatever it was. You know, thank God it's not filling it with sediment. We'd be in a whole different, conversation right now.
Which that material is all from the property.
It doesn't matter where it came from. So we're gonna request for a soil scientist or a wetland scientist to
Give us some insight on the,
provide a report on this area.
help us guide us as to what the next prudent move should be.
Would a geologist or engineer It's fine.
I would say what, or Jessica,
Um,
can you repeat that, just in case she didn't?
no,
did you hear?
I heard him. I heard him. I'm just thinking,
Curious, because I don't think there's actually an official designation like wetland scientist for hire.
yes, there is. There's PWS, Professional Wetland Scientist.
They are specialized, and it's probably easier to go to the root of a wetland scientist, because they're more adapt to it. You know, that's their game. They can identify these areas quicker and easier, and it is of a wetland issue.
Right.
Don't get too big onto it. Just stick with a wetland scientist.
Okay.
Maybe,
Yeah, I'd recommend Wetland Scientists because they're gonna see like that jewelweed and other overland like hydrology stuff that I was sort of seeing too.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, they'll probably know what colors to look for, stuff like that. So
you didn't have an auger, or you didn't, no, but okay, that's.
no, Matt was like, "Should we bring one?" And I was like, "Nah, I got this." So I regret not bringing one.
I assume what you're gonna see once you get into that area with the jewel weed, it's gonna be obvious.
You know, yes, Matt?
I was just gonna say, as a side tangent, I brought up the link you sent me, James, but unfortunately, it's not showing the culvert by 100 Fitchburg.
All right, well, it might not.
Just wanted to let you know.
We know they do such a great job,
Right, exactly.
as you can tell by the sediment in the pipe.
I already cleaned it out once.
So okay, so we're
Timeline?
well, wetland scientists, you know, prove or disprove a case, any sort of evidence, pictures, anything. Picture you may have, maybe a neighbor has them, maybe a neighbor across the street has one. Anything. Colby, should use the timeline.
Yeah,
Thoughts?
a month, is that adequate?
If you call someone tomorrow, maybe. But I don't know.
I guess maybe just keep me posted. So our next June meeting is the 28th. So yeah, that's probably not enough time. July is the 12th or the 26th. So maybe let's shoot for the 12th. And then Mike, just keep in touch with me like over the next week as you start to reach out to see if the 12th is feasible with whoever you select.
And, you know, you're not gonna have to come to every single meeting, especially if there's no movement, or if you're in limbo waiting. But if you provide her with updates, we don't have to go looking for them. That's the best.
And that isn't such a vast area, it's gonna take a great amount of time for them to get in there and decipher where they're going with it,
Right.
you know?
So is the area that I'm gonna be asking them to do their research probes on, is that specifically where?
I would say everything from where the culvert exits from under the road, or where the pond was, to going down that hill
Yeah, following down the hill.
where your property ends.
Okay,
Wouldn't
Yeah, I think
Jessica give him the guidance as to where they're going?
Probably, I just didn't give a chance to
Okay.
speak.
Well, yeah, I mean, the main question is the I'm just gonna call it the pond, whatever it is, the water feature. Is the pond jurisdictional or not? Is the pond considered a wetland or a water of the United States? So if you hire a PWS, they'll know what that means. And then of course that person can contact me if they need a little clarification too. That's fine. So
okay.
yeah. So the pond, I was looking through aerials, the pond was made at some point between 1985 and 1995. But there are no aerials in between then. So that's the closest I can get you. So it really just depends on like how it was made, how it may have naturalized over time, if it did.
I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
You good?
Mhm.
So we'll look for you to send Jessica updates and, shoot for, the first meeting in July-ish, or second meeting.
Is that, so the wetland scientist, what's the abbreviation? for that?
PWS.
PWS. Is that specifically a Massachusetts
No, that's pretty well a national designation.
It is
So-
national.
Yeah.
You should be
Yeah,
able,
it's all across the US.
Just,
The same-
just Google PWS Massachusetts
Okay,
or North Central Mass.
yeah,
You'll find someone pretty.
Yeah,
okay.
you'll find someone.
and there's local people too. You know, you don't have to go too far out of the area. There's people local that can get in there and just doing it.
Right. Well, thank you, Mike.
Thanks for
We appreciate
coming.
your time and
Thank you, guys.
your busy and
Coming.
Have a good night.
You too.
Thank you.
7:51.
One more, just right one. Did somebody call that in? Was that just, how did that come to fruition with that? A neighbor, what?
Ann mentioned it.
I did,
Yeah,
because I do from way back.
well, you go by that, you know, so you're acclimated with that area. If I saw something in Wisconsin like that, I'd be on it, you know? But that was a
I
wetland.
watched, yeah, and I watched it.
I just thought they cleared an area.
No, I watched
So-
it being built.
Okay, it makes better sense for me now, okay.
All right.
As we should, that's our job.
Yeah, well, that's why I did it.
Mm-hmm.
So 3.1, request for certificate of compliance, 5 Madison Ave, DEP number 308-0696. We do have a bunch of stuff to sign
Fine.
tonight for all this stuff, so. Jessica?
Yep, so this one was just an accessory apartment on an existing residential structure, and some of the grading for it was in the 100-foot wetland buffer and within the 200-foot riverfront area. So we went out for a visit last week. Everything was stabilized. Looks like the plants were followed. The grass is grown in. So I would recommend issuance of a COC for this one.
Make a motion to grant
Do you have
a
a question?
certificate of, I'm sorry,
Tim? Do you have a question?
Nope.
Okay.
make a motion for the certificate of compliance for 5 Madison Ave, DEP 308-0696. Be approved.
Second,
Roll call vote, please.
abstain.
Kobe Streeter, yes.
James Gates, yes?
And let's say yes.
Yes.
3.2, request for certificate of compliance, Adam Stam, DEP number 308-0684.
Now that's the wild scenic,
Yes.
okay.
Jessica?
Yeah, so this was mostly slope stabilization work. And then they fixed up the walking path to make it a little bit safer. So yeah, just more recreationally and pedestrian safe and friendly. So we made a visit earlier this week with one of the guys from the cemetery, Parks and Cemetery Department. Everything looked good. I mean, the slopes out there are so steep anyway, they probably won't ever revegetate. But they did put down some of that coconut fabric for now, which is sufficient. So I think it's okay to issue a COC for this one as well.
Motion and a second, please.
May like to make a motion for a certificate of compliance for Adams Dam DEP 308-0684.
I'll second that.
Roll call vote, please.
Abstain.
Bobby Streeter, yes.
James Gates, yes.
North Korea.
That's
Usually the
yes.
next.
3.3, ratification of emergency certification for beaver activity at, Old Meeting House Road. And actually, I'm gonna just roll this into the same one, can I? Ratification of emergency certification for temporary culvert replacement at Old Meeting House Road. This is on Harbor, South Harbor side. Jessica?
Yep, so there's, Old Meeting House has a
Good pictures?
double.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I saw it, it was
It's
Yeah,
pretty nuts out there.
steel plates over it,
I know.
and it
I saw
collapsed.
that.
The steel plates have been there for a while.
Yep,
On the bridge?
yeah.
You could,
They
you could
went
stand up, you could stand on the steel plates and bounce, and the water would come up through.
So, yeah, this is looking north on the dirt Old Meeting House. So my back is to South Road, South Street. So you can see the water flowing over. Here's the plates over the bridge. The water is literally right there.
The other side, it's like a foot lower.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy here. So there's just like all standing water. This is just like pouring over the road. So yeah, so there's a beaver dam somewhere upstream and I think another one somewhere downstream. They weren't entirely sure because it's just like so flooded. It's really hard. It was hard for them to get through and navigate.
Yeah, I talked to the guy that lives in the house and he said there's one to the downstream, just around the bend.
Okay,
I don't know if that's the case, but
I don't know. I know they had to get canoes to try to search for it. So search for them. But anyway, so what they were gonna do is the search for the beaver dam is for them to breach it and decommission it. And then the search for the culvert replacement is the double culvert that's under that bridge where those steel plates are. Both of the culverts have collapsed. And I guess like the beaver activity is also affecting those somehow, maybe just like all the sticks. So Highway Department just wants to, at least for now, temporarily remove one of the culverts and put in a new one until they, get funding, design for however they want to drain that area. So I issued 2 emergency certifications for that, so one for the culvert job and then one for the beaver dam decommissioning and installation of flow device as necessary. So those were definitely deemed emergency situations, as you can tell. So you guys just need to vote to ratify and then sign the 2 certifications, please.
Now, this isn't bothering anyone's home or anyone's ability to get down the road to their home or anything?
I mean, just like walking over those steel plates, the water was like bubbling up. So
So that's just a public walking bridge, correct?
no, that's a
no, like
road.
there's a house right here. There's a couple houses up there.
And these people
So-
depend on that bridge area
Can I
to get home?
Hi,
Yes,
I live on that road. My name is Diana Newell. I'm on the Zoom.
Yes, ma'am.
go ahead, Diana.
Yeah, so I'm one of the occupants of that road, so I was just listening to hear what you guys were deciding. So yeah, this has been a situation for, I've lived on that road for 38 years and that culvert has been damaged for probably 20 of those 38 years. So yeah, beavers come and go. This is probably the worst I've ever seen it. So whatever they can do to to repair that culvert would be great. This is the first time I've ever seen it running across the road like that. You know, it's been 6 weeks now that the water has been running over the road. So the beaver activity is more extensive than it's been ever before. They've relocated beavers probably twice before since I've lived there, but with the culverts collapse, I think that's made it worse. But so obviously we can't walk down the road because you can't walk through the water, but I mean, you can certainly drive through it. But as Jessica was just saying, you know, when you stand on those metal.
And this is a bridge you drive your vehicle
Oh,
over?
yeah, I drove my truck over it.
That's
I didn't realize.
something needs to get looked
Something
at.
needs to get done.
That's not just a culvert replacement or just that's a situation that highway needs to take a look at, safety needs.
Safety,
That's
the
just
safety
totally out of control.
aspect.
That's just that's unacceptable. That's, no.
Now they're gonna remove these beavers, I mean, I don't know, you know, to try to get as many as they can and relocate them.
There's ways of dealing with that on a more permanent basis.
I have one question there about, just replacing one culvert from the time being. They're not waiting for our approval to do both of them. That's a money issue. If they,
I can only assume it is. Just because of the emergency of it all, they need to do it. They need to do something now.
Then now.
So are you hearing that it's a money situation, or are they
I don't-
waiting for somebody to have a serious accident and a lawsuit? Where's that going?
Well, thank you for saying that. That's what I've been saying to them for 20 years.
That's, I mean,
Why are they relying on steel plates for fire trucks to get across?
I
How do they plow it?
I'd be all over this, so this is the first time I saw that, that is unacceptable, that's gotta be dealt with immediately.
I do know that they did apply. There was a recent round of grant for culvert maintenance,
Sure.
but they didn't get it. And this, I think, is like the top culvert in town that they want to replace, obviously. But I don't, they didn't get the grant money. So I think it's not, as you guys mentioned, it's not just like plugging in a new pipe. This is a huge project.
Yeah, because it's not like Greenville Road where
Right.
it sees it dries
Right.
up at a certain point. This always has water.
is this actually the Squanicook River the bridge is going over, or?
Yeah,
Bixby Brook.
it's a brook.
It's a
Correct, it's not the Squanicook.
Squanicook's on the other side at the end of.
Correct.
It's Seabrook, right, Diana?
Well, it's the brook that comes off of the Squanicook.
It has as much water ability as the Squanicook, and if it's connected, it's got plenty of water ability.
Jessica, did you say the name?
Bixby Brook.
Oh, Bixby.
Here, I'll pull up a map for you guys.
It'll just show you it as a tributary over to it.
So this is just for your reference, there's the harbor pond. It's right here, and it's this right here.
Yeah.
So you can see how much there is. And then here's the little tiny culvert. So you can see how much 2-3 foot diameter culverts are draining through there. So it's not just a simple culvert replacement. There's so much more water that needs to be handled and designed for.
You're gonna have to figure out flow charts, high and low, and
I guess that was kind of where I was going. One culvert doesn't seem to be adequate.
no.
It doesn't
Right,
look like.
that's why I know it's temporary until, again, they can try to get more grant money or something. But
That's
yeah, I mean, it's all,
Recent.
I get it. I get that it's hard.
Okay.
So,
Well, we can't force them to do anything. All we can do is ratify this and
Yeah.
maybe give them words of encouragement to hurry the hell up. figure it
Well,
out.
it's 30 days to do it, so it will happen between now and then, so.
Where is Jimmy Smith on this? As far as, has he been spoken to about it? What is his input with this?
He's in the canoe with the beaver guy looking for those dams, so he's
You know,
on top of
I'll
it.
tell- I've
So
talked to
he's-
Jim so many times over the years, and he's been wonderful. And he really basically says that he's tried multiple times to get the funding, and it's been an issue of, you know, priorities, and that he just continues to be turned down for the funding. And I do believe him, because, you know, he's been very forthcoming with me about, you know, trying to get the project done. And I just think it's, you know, I mean, there's only 2 houses on the street, and it doesn't rise to the level. But, you know, as you said, it's unfortunate that it'll end up being a situation of there'll be a crisis or something bad will happen
Right.
before
Yep.
somebody does something.
For something to happen to.
Yeah,
Exactly, and you don't want that to happen.
I don't believe in the fact that if there's 1 house or 200 houses out there, fact remains that is
The public right away.
Blatantly deficient.
It's not safe.
and that's an accident waiting to
oh,
happen.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Now, when the beaver area is back up, does that create any trouble with your septic systems and water?
Surprisingly, for me, it doesn't. I'm up the hill, and we're kind of on a plateau. Whether it does or not for Greg Shepherd's house there, I don't know. His well and septic system must be much lower. I know his well is only like 76 feet. My well is like 700 feet down, so I'm up higher. So I can't speak for him.
Just when it gets to a point where water and septic are involved in it, Board of Health could be quickly brought into this also.
Yeah, I know was involved in this whole situation this time and was pretty upset about how long it took him to respond.
Okay. Because it sounds like you gotta get everybody on the same page with this, because if I lived at the end of that where you live, if it was me right now talking and it was my 1 house out there, they'd be putting a culvert in.
Well, I do worry, you know, of course, about emergency services if something were to ever happen and nobody can get there. But, you know, I also do understand how the state works and how difficult it is. So I do know that Jim has been doing his part, because he does talk to me on a regular basis about it. So
If no one minds, I'm gonna make a motion, just, it is getting a little long. Make a motion for section 3.3 and 3.4 to ratify the emergency certification for beaver activity at Old Meeting House Road, and to ratify the emergency certification for temporary culvert replacement at Old Meeting House Road.
Second,
Roll call vote, please. You can vote now.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah,
thank you all. Anything you can add to it to push it along for a better solution would be really wonderful. I'd appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Diana, for joining us. Thank you.
Have a great night.
thank you.
You too.
Colby Streeter, yes.
James Gates, yes?
and with three yes.
Pat Jamal, yes.
Thank you, Colby. Yeah. 3.5, reappointment to Conservation Commission request from Ann LeClaire. Ann, do you have anything to add? I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I don't have anything to I don't feel that there's a need to discuss anything. But if you have anything you want to add or say, the floor is yours.
Whatever.
No, I assume you'd like to join us again.
If you want me, sure. If you don't, I'll leave now.
Can I make a motion? Or?
Does anyone else have anything they want to add?
Just real quick, there's a paper in the folder that you need to sign, Ann. Just got your signature that you want to reapply for the commission. That's all. It's in the. Yep.
Yeah, no, that's, I don't see anything for her to sign. I see signature of board, committee, or commission chair.
I think that's what she has to sign.
No,
Oh, I could have been wrong.
Oh,
that's commission chair.
okay. Then if you can sign that, James, perfect. because then you can sign the one for Kevin too.
Wait, Kevin's not here to discuss. Hold on. Hold on. We're getting all, you made a motion.
It was about motion.
Colby,
All right. I make a motion to reappoint to the Conservation Commission, Ann LeClaire. Where?
second.
Can I correct that real quick? Sorry, we're just like recommending. The Board of Selectmen is the appointment people, so you guys
Yeah.
can't actually do it.
No,
I
but
misunderstood that.
do we need to vote on this then?
I mean, if you want to provide them with a recommendation that I can pass along for when they
Yeah.
do vote on it.
I can just sign this, right?
Yes.
Doesn't matter if you sign it or not, it's coming from our three select
Okay, so,
individuals of town.
You,
We're in approval of Ann coming aboard, we're in approval of Kevin coming on
we're
board.
requesting reappointment of Ann. Colby made the motion. I just said it for him.
Was that the motion?
Well, we're requesting the reappointment
Okay. So, yeah, you want me to reword it?
and include Kevin in that,
Okay.
unless if anyone's opposed.
I make, so tongue twister here. I make a motion to suggest that we.
Request for reappointment.
Okay, I make a motion to request the reappointment to the Conservation Commission in LeClaire and Kevin Smith.
I second that.
Thank you.
Roll call vote, please.
I'm in favor of both.
Colby Streeter, yes.
James Gates, yes.
Okay, yes. Charlie, yes.
When did the selectmen meet again? Are they meeting once a week, I assume?
I don't know.
They meet next Tuesday, so I'm gonna send that over to Sabrina on Friday.
Okay.
Just one signature.
I don't know if they're gonna do this next week or if they probably have a whole slew of them from all different boards and committees to do at some point in June, because everyone's terms expire on June 30th.
I think they do it over a couple, if I'm not mistaken, but
I don't know.
as they get them.
For a short meeting. Correspondence, 4.1, Squanicook River Regional Stewardship. Sherritt, 714, what's that? You're gonna make me read it.
It's
I do want this.
It's like a networking thing.
yeah.
I don't know what that word is either. I thought it was like soiree, but I
You
don't
could
think
just
that's
you could
how
just
it's
read the
spelled.
bolded part. Mhm.
The National Squanicook and Nissitissit Rivers Wild and Scenic Stewardship Council is launching a pilot project to bring together a select group of stakeholders who share an interest in the stewardship of the conserved lands of the Squanicook River Greenway. River and adjacent lands support an interconnected landscape which creates opportunities to collaborate. The council invites the Townsend Conservation Commission to participate in a half-day Squanicook River Regional Stewardship Share. Am I saying this right? Friday, July 14th.
It just means meeting, I think.
It's French.
Alcohol involved. Provided, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., the Nashua River Watershed Association's River Resource Center at 592 Main Street in Groton. We'd like to welcome one or two representatives from your organization. The goal of this is to identify shared stewardship needs and areas to collaborate.
That's watershed's just to the left, oh, just as you go over the ridge.
Yes. So if anyone wants to go, okay.
And that's the fourth, if I'm getting this right, that's gonna be,
14th of July. I think only want one or two people,
Says one or two.
one or two.
I'll put a question mark on that, I gotta see what the schedule looks like, but I'd probably wanna go there. I haven't been down there for a while for any.
Whoever wants to go can reach out to Matt and Jessica and, figure it out so we don't have 5 of us going. So.
Yep.
But it'd be great to have at least one or two.
I might try to go to that then too, but we'll see.
Go down, see Jennifer, Karen Chapman, and see how everything's down there is, so. I will tell by the end of, middle of next week, most likely, yes.
All right, 4.2 ZBA transmittal of decision regarding 22 Main Street. Notice is hereby given that the ZBA has granted a variance for a handicap parking space to be placed in front of the building within the front yard setback. This is at the vet's office, next to McDonald's and Patriot. 4.3, this is something that I'm on and Colby. Colby represents the Conservation Commission on it. This is public forum, presentation of the Townsend Open Space and Recreation Plan, 2023 draft update. It is Thursday, June 22nd, 2023 at 6 p.m. in the Selectmen's Chambers. Public info session, presentation of the draft plan, public input session, comments and discussion. A 14-day public comment period will commence on Thursday, June 15th at 4 p.m. All comments should be submitted to the town hall in writing to the attention of the conservation agent, but email, or mail to Jessica. I'm not gonna read all those details. For additional details or remote access to the public forum via the Zoom video conferencing application, please visit the Townsend's homepage, click on the appropriate date. Digital copy of the draft plan is also available on the Land Use Department's webpage.
It will be tomorrow afternoon.
I thought I saw it the other day.
I think that's the draft or the old one.
Well, this is the draft. But okay.
But like with all the track changes completed. I don't know. But we're gonna get a hard copy tomorrow or by the end of this week too for public review. If you don't want to look online. So we'll have that in our office.
All right. Next thing up is education. MACC delineation of bordering vegetated wetlands, and inland wetland replacement workshop 7/12. Is that in person? Training is an in-person full-day event with classroom and field component. It is.
That's the one that Colby's going to, right, Colby?
No, the one on July 12th is the Lunch and Learn. It's like a little 1-hour webinar. The delineation training on June 15th is in person.
Okay. Oh, that's tomorrow. Cool.
And that's in Westford.
Westboro.
Westboro.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, jumped ahead.
Are there any good classes going on Walden Woods or Garden in the Woods down in Framingham? They have
do a
some great,
lot.
some
So they
really
have-
good programs
They have
down
a
there.
scrub ID class at Horn Pond in Woburn, June 28th. Fern ID for beginners at Mount Toby in person fields, class July 21st. And then, the Lunch and Learns.
Has anybody gone to a good vernal pool class lately? They have a really good one down in Framingham Garden in the Woods. They have got 2 really nice vernal pools out there, and it really helps people identify with wetland areas, root staining, and all the different species that are in there on the seasonal basis. And Walden Woods I went to 3 classes there. Those are always really nice to go to. Does the town have any money in the budget?
I assume they do because they're supposed to provide us with education.
Because that's supposed to come out of the, what fund would that come from?
I don't
We
know.
have like an education account, and then I think we can also use the WPA account for some trainings.
We gotta use
Um,
the, yeah,
So, I mean, I did wetland delineations for like 8 years before this. So if you guys have questions or like want a little field 101 ever, I'm happy to do that too.
oh, I just need some freshening up.
Maybe you can integrate it with our invasives training on Friday.
Mhm.
And that's gonna be over at Jeff Street. We're gonna meet over there,
We're gonna meet here.
here.
Oh, yeah, that's just a poster.
If you had email, you would know this.
Yeah,
He
but
does,
that's
he just
way,
doesn't read it.
it's way too technology. I don't like that stuff.
I'm gonna screenshot emails and then text you a picture of the screenshots. That's what I'll have to do.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, you got a picture today of all the garlic area. So pictures are good,
All
you
right.
know.
Jessica, can you please give us an update on the 16th?
Man, at this rate, who knows? It could change. We are with Land Stewardship Inc. We have a couple trainers. Yeah, so so as of now, I think they're a little skeptical of Friday's forecast. I don't agree. But so we are again shifting the location back to Town Hall. So we're just gonna make it like a game day decision. We're just gonna meet in Town Hall parking lot, and then based on whatever the hourly forecast is from there, we'll decide. So if it's raining, we can do some indoor presentation stuff. They can. If it's not raining, we can go to Jeff Street parking lot and or the rail trail. So Jeff Street parking lot has Japanese knotweed. There's like one Russian or autumn olive, and there's bittersweet. And then along the rail trail, there's garlic mustard, I think more bittersweet, Japanese honeysuckle, and something else. So there's plenty to go around. It just kind of is weather dependent, I guess, on Friday of where we'll hit. So just
Bring them down across the street. We got a big grove of knotweed. Common reed, I mean, that's coming back in strong. Phragmites.
okay.
Yeah, we treated it 7 years ago with some grant money that we had. And, we sprayed it all down to glyphosine. It seemed to do the trick. Came right back even better.
One seed head. Yep.
Yeah, that's all it took.
Well, the lady from the land stewardship place said that they don't really do hand removal of knotweed.
Can't. Can't.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, we'll just like learn some ID. We'll learn different removal techniques, whether it's by hand or chemical products. Probably do some hands-on stuff too. So just dress appropriately. Yeah. And then I think she said she was going to make a little like chart handout for us with a bunch of different local invasives and good time of year to treat it too. So maybe Phragmites would be on that. I'm not sure. Yeah, so it should be a good time. But yeah, so 10 to 1. So we'll meet at the parking lot at 10. And then see how it goes. See if Mother Nature cooperates.
Gonna be raining.
Yes.
Promise prediction. All right.
All right, our next meeting is June 28th, 2023 at 6 p.m. Or 7 p.m. in the select board chamber. Does anyone have anything to add, comments, questions? We have some papers to sign.
I have a quick note. Next Wednesday, we have 3 site visits. So just FYI, the first one starts at 9:30.
Okay.
So we'll have 2 RDA visits and 1 NOI visit, and the NOI one's at 158 Main Street. So they're gonna be some doozies. So yeah, about 9:30 to 11 or so. But I will put those in an email or text early next week for you guys.
So they're what, long walk, site walks, or it's just, there's a lot to what's going on at the site? What's
So
up?
more the latter. The first 2 are just RDAs, except I'm blanking on what one of them is. One septic in a riverfront area,
An above ground pool.
the mystery pool that appears to already be there,
Yeah.
in a wetland buffer. So
Those
2
are pretty
RDAs and then the NOI for this 158 Main Street. So that'll probably be a good one for you guys if you can to come to at least that one.
How do you plan on doing 158 Main Street?
We're gonna meet in his parking lot, in his driveway,
Okay,
I guess. Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna
I
let
think you
Stan
should
decide.
walk up there, and it's pretty nasty to get to that side, so.
And
Maybe
so
it'll be
how
a
is he?
twofold visit.
And he's pretty warm and fuzzy during the site walks and everything, and it's cordial.
I'd recommend Stan being there and not maybe have Stan represent this client,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
thinking out loud,
Why, does Doc McGee gets growly all the time? What's the problem?
being recorded, Jimmy, this is being recorded.
Just, everybody's gotta get along and just get through this. Sounds like everything he does is a little growly about stuff.
I could be wrong saying that too, so I'm not gonna.
Okay, so what's next? What's on next? Oh, look at that, Jeremy. Is that right?
Yep. We need a motion to adjourn,
Motion to adjourn this meeting.
second. Roll call vote,
Second, Jim Durant.
Colby Streeter, yes.
James, yes.
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 Thank you, team.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a nice night, everyone.
You too.
Thank you.
Thank you.